Welcome, everybody. It's time to get down to business here in Auto Club Speedway, Fontana, California, just outside the LA metropolitan area. Is race 5 of the TWIGI iRacing Series season. And it is pandemonium as we get ready for qualifying here. A lot of drivers beginning to roll off. Qualifying very quick, snappy 5-minute session here. It's good to be back with everyone here on a Friday evening at a track beloved by many. First 4 races have been a whirlwind, and it's been the Merrick Watchhorn show. Right now we're looking at the 199 and Christina Ryan back and re-energized from a trip in Las Vegas for Screen to Speed. Won her first World Championship race on Wednesday night at Monza in Habian Hyperformula. And now qualifying here, as many drivers are, here in Auto Club. A lot of cars on track at the moment, so there'll be a lot of times coming thick and fast here. First lap on the board, James Thompson with a 41.62. Brennan Gregg goes faster, 41.478. 5 cars at qualifying times. Gregg, Thompson, Barletta, Ryan, and Slagle. With multiple cars on track. Second lap in the books for Christina Ryan. And it was enough for a 41.48 as Weileman goes 41.26. Championship leader right here. Merrick Watchhorn, 18 career wins in the series. Trying to go for 4 in a row and 19 on his career. Heard from him last week after Iowa. It's all about getting that second championship after missing out last year. John Ledger goes 3rd fastest. Thomas Lane goes 5th fastest. Watchhorn just now starting his qualifying laps. This is lap number 1 for him. Bajent goes 9th fastest. Gamillion just set his second lap. Where does Gamillion go? Gamillion goes 6th fastest. It's a track that a lot of drivers will know pretty familiarly. Whether it's open wheel or stock cars, this has been a mainstay, a staple for years. First lap in the books for Watchhorn. He goes P3 on lap 1. As we keep an eye on him. Coming out of turn 4 for his second lap. We'll see how it looks. Is it enough to take pole? Look clean enough. Is it enough for the front? It is! 41.25. He'll go to the top of the board. Kyle Smith. Currently sitting in the 7th position. Looks set. Can he get any better? P4 for Kyle Smith. Phenomenal drive And it leaves just 3 cars without a qualifying time. So here's what we're looking at here. As we get ready to go here in Auto Club. Again, 2-mile oval. It is the site of the fastest ever closed circuit lap record that was set back in 1999 by Gilles Ferrin and Team Penske. We're not be running those speeds tonight, but we are going to see a lot of intense racing. This track, as it's aged over the years, has become a favorite, similar to what Atlanta used to be. It's a wide surface, it's an aging surface, it's a bumpy surface. Tire wear is going to be important. How you manage that will be important. As you can see, track temp 100 degrees, air temp 78 degrees. So it is a scorcher on track. Air temp not that bad, 56% humidity, and not a lot of wind. So you'll see a lot of side drafting here because it will be a lot more stable to do so. Merrick Watchorn, top of the board, alongside him Brady Weileman. Alec Daffin and Kyle Smith make up row number 2. Christopher Howell and Connor Morse will make up row 3. John Ledger, Brennan Gregg in row 4. Then it's Maurice Gamillion and Thomas Lane in row 5. Row 6 is Christina Ryan and Kyle Dersham. Row 7, as we look a little bit on further back here, you see Elias Flores on his debut for Ascent Racing Team and Callie Bajent for Agent Inc. Bit of a team change there for Callie Bajent, going from JW Motorsports to Agent Inc., in line with Callie Bajent's move to the team and ABN competitions over in Formula Atlantic and in open wheel competition over on the ABN side of things. Row 8, it's James Thompson and Harley Barletta. In that row, row 9, John Holliday, John Buato Jr. Row 10, Alex Martin and Dale Rapp. Chris Van Mistricht and Brad Slagle in row 11. Row 12, Jack Stanley and Caitlin Height. Joshua Jernigan and Luke Knupp in row 13. $26 cars for tonight's event. Brady Weileman moving to the end of the field, serving a penalty from Iowa a week ago. Some moves. Connor Morse in the 09. It moves him to the front of the field. He'll be alongside Merrick Quattro, and Morse was very impressive at Iowa a week ago. He's going to try to be equally impressive here tonight. It's time to kick this party off. Already a little bit of contact further in the back. But green flag is out and away we go. Caution out already. And it looks like it might be a problem between Van Mistricht and Martin. We saw the stack up early. And it looks like it might have a little bit to do. Ooh. That's why the caution came out. Get a second look at that. See if we can get an onboard here. Onboard with Caitlin Height. Yeah, she just... I think she moves up, not realizing there's somebody on her outside there. We'll go to the blimp cam here. Again, number 90 on the inside lane. It's John Bawalda. Yeah. That's just rough. So first caution comes on lap 1, and really we can take a look back a little bit further on because she gets tagged at the start here, trying to get caught up. And just a bit of a messy start all the way around here. That is... Yeah, she gets hit early on. I don't remember by who. That seems like it's Dale Rapp in the 52, but it's not. Because there's Brad Seigel in the 052, and Dale Rapp, who was in the other 52, he's in the Fastenal car. And he was in front of Kite when she came across the nose of Bawalda. It would have been Alex Martin for TWIGI iRacing. Alex Martin was the one that got in contact with her on the start. Alex Martin coming off pit lane after taking some repairs. We'll take another look at that opening start. Again, we're 1 to green here. And again, we'll look back here because it would have been Alex Martin involved in the early going here. Because Chris Van Maastricht's in the 27. Yeah, he does get bumped. He gets hit pretty hard going into that corner. So Van Maastricht bumped Martin into Height at the start there. And it kind of affects how Height's entire opening lap goes. They're already fanning out in the back here, trying to sort themselves out. Some shenanigans further on in the back. Weileman's going to get through here. Yeah, John Bawalda is going to be on the outside lane here. They got to get themselves organized. Very odd that we're having this issue now on race 5, and we haven't had it all season. But it's Watchorn, Morris, Gregg, Daffin, Ledger, Howell, top 6. Second verse, please don't be the same as the first. Green flag back in the air here at Auto Club. Lockley in a restart that way. You can just already tell there. Watchorn got to choose the lane that he wanted to be in. And now we're racing. Watchorn leads Morse, Daffin, Gregg, Howell, and Ledger top 6. Watchorn up near the top of the track. Daffin working the bottom of the track. These two have been adversaries the last 3 weeks in a row. Watchman's had the best of the 48 all 3 weeks. Trouble for Ledger. As he drops back, there's Christina Ryan, the 199. Trying to work her way forward. She's up 5 spots from the start of this race. John Ledger falls back a spot. Christina Ryan will move forward on board with her. Get an idea as to how bumpy this track is. Not a very static cam when it's moving up and down like that. But this track, its aged surface is part of what makes it so characterized and so beloved, and that's what people are... Obviously, the reconfiguration that's coming for this track, very polarizing as a result. She's moved her way into the top 5. Got around the 18 of Brennan Gregg for Ascent Racing Team. On the back straightaway, working on the 88 of Christopher Howell, who she became very acquainted with at Atlanta. Howell and Ryan battled it out big time in that top 3 for the longest time before Ryan's tires fell off. Christina Ryan working that inside lane, trying to make up spots quickly. Christina's very familiar with this car. All 7 of her NASCAR college starts came in either the truck or the vehicle she's in right now. Partner NASCAR, she raced in the Court Cup Series when they used this vehicle. Easy to say that this is probably one of the classes of vehicles that she is the most experienced in. And it's showing right now, up 7 spots. Only person that's gained more at this point is Kaylin Height, who's currently moved up 10 spots. Despite being involved in the lap 1 caution, up 10 spots already. Working on the 61 of James Thompson. Already dispatched the 55 of Kyle Smith and the 52 of Dale Rapp. Kaylin Height up 11 spots, up to 13th place. As we watch out everyone here. Watchone still leads. He's opened up just a 2/10 gap over Daffin, with Connor Morris close in tow. Daffin is desperately trying to get to the back bumper of Watchorn. If he can get to that quarter panel, he can side draft with Watchorn and challenge for that lead effectively, or at least make an attempt at it. Watchorn's doing a really good job, especially in 3 and 4, of covering off the lane that Daffin wants to run. As Christina Ryan runs the apron there. Remember, all that's legal as long as you're not on a plate track like Daytona or Talladega or Atlanta. Running below the white line's legal. It is an at your own risk adventure, but it's legal. And for Christina Ryan, it's going to give her 3rd place as she battles with the 09 and Connor Morris. First time they've battled with each other. Morris debuted at Iowa last week. And Christina Ryan giving very little space to the newer driver. Hard knocks life as the two Toyotas battle for that third spot. Toyota's first, third, and fourth. Chevrolet is second, fifth, and sixth. Best Ford down in the ninth position. That's Thomas Lane. These two are really close. Very confident in where they know that the space of the car is. For a brief period of time, could not stick a piece of paper between them. Christina Ryan sails it into turn 3. Gets a little bit lower than Daffin does. Daffin didn't get to the white line. So Daffin may already be beginning to struggle with those front tires, especially that right front. Maybe already about to start burning off and wearing down here on lap 15. A lot of the drivers that are in the top of the field right now did not pit under that caution because it was a lap 1 accident. Daffin trying to work to get to that bumper of Watchor and Christina Ryan in tow. Doing a wild job right now. Watchorn left the inside open once again. Daffin couldn't make anything happen of it. Watchorn, Daffin, Ryan, top 3. Connor Morris down to 5th behind Christopher Howell. Daffin going for that race lead once again through turns 1 and 2. Battle for this race lead heating up now that they've gotten side by side. Watchorn leads at the line, but Daffin may start to take it here. Christina Ryan gets passed by Chris Howell. As Watchorn holds on to the race lead just barely. You see 4 wide further behind. They get themselves sorted out, but Connor Morris falling down quickly. A lot of battling going on here. Connor Morris falling backwards. John Ledger falling backwards still. Kyle Smith trying to fall back upwards after missing 8 spots. .36, Callie Bajan in the mix. And you look for her as she moved from Ford to Chevrolet for Agent Inc. Racing. Little tag of the wall there. That is by the 25 of Ledger, who is wheeling it behind the 09 of Connor Morris. Ledger struggling massively right now on those older tires. Side by side still at the front of the field. Watchorn still trying to hold on to that race lead. Christopher Howell back in 3rd. Christina Ryan in 4th. Caitlin Height up 19 spots. From the back of the field to 5th place in that number 90. Phenomenal work by Caitlin Height, getting through the field. She's gotten past Brennan Gregg. Mariska Millian in 7th behind him. Harley Barletta in 8th. Kyle Dersham in 9th. Kyle Smith is up to the top 10, but battling with Callie Bajent for that spot. Callie Bajent started this race in 14th. Up 4 spots for her right now, is where she wants to be. Three-way battle for the race lead. Christina Ryan sitting and lurking. Action throughout the field from top to bottom. Daffin's pursuit of the race lead. Pursued him and netted him a lap lead, but he'll lose second place as well, with Howell up to second place in the 88. Daffin drove it through the corner there out of turn 2. Christina Ryan in 4th, right there in hot pursuit as well. The more that these drivers battle, the more that it allows Christina to sit and save tires without losing time. Again, it's all about that longer tire-saving strategy game. Washburn's been playing that game. Christina Ryan now has the ability to play that game as well, whereas Howell and Daffin, they're going to be running each other down a lot. And again, do not keep sight of Christina Ryan in the 199 or Caitlin Height in the 90. 51 of Brady Weileman, a lap down vehicle, not on the lead lap. Not a concern at the moment, but may become of assistance to his teammate Alec Daffin. That's Brady Weileman in 51. But Caitlin Height is charging through the field massively here as these two battle for second place. Daffin trying really hard. Brady Weileman is one of only 2 cars off the lead lap at the moment. He's the first car off the lead lap at the moment. And he finished lap 18. So he is on fresher tires by a significant margin. Him and Alex Martin both have pit within the last 9 laps. And you see him just blaze by on the outside lane there. He'll get his lap back, which for the time being will save him. If a caution comes out at some point over these next handful of laps, he'll be safe from having to worry about taking a wave run or anything like that. He has raced his way back onto it. Christina Ryan in 4th place. Caitlin Height 5th. Brennan Gregg in 6th place ahead of Mariska Millian and Harley Barletta. Callie Bajent has made her way up to the 9th spot ahead of Kyle Dersham. Dersham, another one of the drivers that debuted last week at Iowa, was one of the more impressive drivers at Iowa last week in that number 93 machine. So all eyes forward on that 93 to see what he can do as he sits between Bajent and Kyle Smith in the 55. Thomas Lane Jr. spent most of his early stint in the top 10, has dropped down to 12th. He's down 2 spots from where he started this race. But all in all, a pretty peaceful run so far for him compared to what we saw a couple weeks ago at Phoenix. John Ledger struggled a little bit. He's down 6 spots, but now he's in some clean air where he's not having to deal with side draft or being 3 and 4 wide, which is, I think, a more peaceful side of things for the 25 car. As we sit now going into the middle stanza of this race, we are 1/4 of the way through this race. Again, for those that are tuning in, for those that are just jumping in, I'm Carmen Hardy. Welcome to AVN's broadcast of the TWIGI iRacing series. It's the Golden Gate 200. We're going through the field right now. John Ledger to the 25 and 13th. Connor Morris, center of your screen, the 09 and 14th, has dropped back on older tires. has worn up that right front just a little bit too much. And it's going to burn you here at Fontana more than what it will at Iowa. Dale Rapp in 15th place on an island in the number 52 machine. John Holliday in 16th ahead of Brad Slagle. Elias Flores making his debut tonight in that 42 for Ascent Racing Team. Ahead of Jack Stanley in the 95 as Flores knocks down the wall a little bit in that 42. So Flores will lose a spot. Josh Jernigan's going to try to get around as well. James Thompson going through the learning phase, going through the progression here in the TWIGI iRacing Series, the number 61 machine. He sits 21st ahead of John Bullwater Jr., who was involved in caution number 1, the only caution so far in this race. Then Chris Van Mistrick, the last car, really sort of on this pace with the leaders. Brady Weileman just got back on the lead lap, having raced his way back onto the lead lap, with Alex Martin sitting in the 25th position, the last car running and off the lead lap. These top three, nose to tail. And you see the girls behind, the 199 of Christina Ryan and the 90 of Caitlin Height. Top 5 all in this cluster. Starting lap issue aside, it's been a very phenomenal race. Very much in line with what we typically see at Fontana. Chris Howell trying to sink that if he wanted to. Sent a little bit too deep, open the inside for Daffin to try to balance and battle back here. Those two battle for second spot, and they're going to give each other just enough room to coexist. Again, keep an eye on that 199 and the 90. Caitlin Height is here. She is very firmly present now in this top 5. Caitlin Height was part of that battle for the 3rd spot at Atlanta 3 weeks ago. We've been to Phoenix and Iowa since then, and now obviously tonight here in Fontana. Both Ryan and Height making their second race of the season. Not battling for the points championship by any means. For those that are unfamiliar with how TWIGI iRacing Series points works, there's no chase as Christina Ryan comes down pit lane. There's no chase, there's no playoff format. It's 36 races. Champion at the end of the season is it. Part-time drivers get half the regular points. Full-time drivers, it's on a scale between 85 points to 1 point down in 40th. Part-time drivers get half of the points they score compared to full-time drivers. Keeps part-time drivers out of the way from being a part of the championship conversation. And it allows the full-time drivers to focus on the full-time contenders for the series championship. Battle at the front of the field. Daffin led that lap. He's trying to get to the race lead, which is interesting because I would obviously I'm from the Oakville side of things. Christina Ryan's going to go almost a lap down. She will go a lap down here. But Daffin got into Watchorn just a little bit, had to lean on him. And unfortunately will drop to second place there again. Watchorn to the front of the field as Christina Ryan gonna do what we thought she was gonna do, and she's gonna blaze it by on the outside lane. A little loose there for Christina Ryan on those cold tires, but she makes it through. Stays on the lead lap now. Watchorn had to check out of it because of almost the near contact between Ryan and Watchorn. Top four all in it still. Kaylin Height now in this lead conversation. Chris Howell will help Watchorn here. And what does that 2-on-1 battle look like? It looks like that. Watchorn gets the clear, and Chris Howell almost got clear. Watchorn is coming up pit lane. Yes, he is coming down pit lane this time. Yeah, Chris Howell in second, now in the lead of this race. Then it's Daffin, then Height, Barletta, Gamillion, Kyle Dersham. A lot of cars just came down pit lane. Watchorn, Greg, Bajent, Smith, Lane, Ledger, Rapp, Holiday, all in pit lane now. Slagle stays out. Stanley will stay out. So they'll move forward. Dersham taking it easy coming down the pit lane this time. Howell and Height, they stay out. Remember, Height had to pit on lap 2 for damage repairs. Leaders come in. Howell and Height come in. Stanley will come in as well. Brady Weileman, through merit of wacky cycles, Weileman now inherits the lead of this race. So Weileman at the front of the field ahead of Christina Ryan. The undercut matters so much here. Christina Ryan was one of the first drivers to come in from that lead group and leapfrogged Watchorn by 2.3 seconds. So Brady Weileman will inherit the lead of the race here when Jack Stanley pits. Jack Stanley staying out here, leading some laps, scoring some points. Jack Stanley comes in. Weileman inherits the race lead here, coming to lap 40. 61 laps to go. And there's the gap between Weileman and Christina Ryan. We'll pull up the good old track map here and kind of show you where everyone's at on track. Christina Ryan, it's the 199 with the yellow outline. That's where she's at right now, chasing down that 51 of Brady Weileman. Merrick Watchorn closing in a little bit, as well as Chris Howell. Caitlin Height in 5th place. There's been trouble for Alec Daffin. Alec Daffin looks like had to serve a penalty for speeding in pit lane. So Alec Daffin's race went from battling for the race lead now to 22nd off the lead lap. He'll move to the 21st, maybe. No, he hasn't even moved to 21st yet. That penalty's thrown him back so much. Jack Stanley was able to make a pit stop and stay ahead of him. So, it's Christina Ryan, Brady Weileman, Merrick Watchorn, Chris Howell, Caitlin Height in the top 5. Weileman's going to drop backwards here. Christina Ryan has taken the race lead here at Fontana, with Merrick Watchorn sitting in 2nd place. Brady Weileman dropped down to 3rd, and he's about to be left to the vultures here with Chris Howell and Caitlin Height coming up quickly. Brennan Gregg in 6th, Harley Barletta in 7th, and Callie Bajan up to 8th still. Kyle Smith in 9th, Maurice Camillion rounds out the top 10. We put up the tower for you. You can see where all 26 drivers are at once. Top 10, stack at the top of the board. Bottom half of the field will rotate between 11th through 20th and then 21st through 26th. Closest battle going on right now on track would be between this battle for 4th place between Howell and Height, and then this battle here for 17th, Josh Jernigan, Brad Slagle, and John Buwalda. Jernigan in the 40. Slagle in the 052. And then Buwalda in the 5. These are the 2 closest battles going on at the moment. Christina Ryan now under threat from Watchorn. The ebb and flow of this race beginning to pick up. No stages, nothing like that. Merrick Watchorn with those 3-lap pressure tires. Gonna try to make some pretty quick work here of that 199. Gets through going into turn 3. Watchorn back to the front of the field. Christina Ryan. Begin, I hear the sounds off in the distance. I hear Rosgrea's launch in the distance. Now we got a dogfight. They're getting around the 92 of Alex Martin. 2-car battle at the front of the field. This is what it looks like right now. Watchorn and Ryan duking it out. Merrick Watchorn has been the driver to beat this season. Won the Clash in Southern National. Won at Atlanta. Won at Phoenix. Won at Iowa. It has been a phenomenal opening to the season for the number 91 crew and for Watchorn Motorsports. And they're trying to keep that momentum going. Only 2 of that team's cars present tonight. Gamillion in the 44 and Watchorn in the 91. The 9 of Jacob Elkins is not present tonight. Neither is the 19 of Patrick Hernandez. So the team's operating at half capacity, but still doing a phenomenal job as they go around to lap John Buwalda here at the front of the field. Christina Ryan's falling off a little bit in that number 199 machine. It's up to half a second now is the gap. John Buwalda got out of the way, I should say, for Christina Ryan there. But Christina beginning to lose touch with the race leader here. Still a 3.5 second gap back to third place of Chris Howell. But Christina Ryan doing a phenomenal job so far. See that battle just a little bit further behind. We'll move on back here. This battle for third place between Howell and Height has intensified a little bit. Caitlin Height in the 90 has moved up 20 spots from where she started this race. She started this race back in 24th position, trying to battle for that third spot now with Chris Howell. They are closing a little bit on the race leader. They pit the latest of everyone in the top 5. They pit on lap 37. Weileman has to come in here soon. He pit on lap 18 last time out, so he's got a pit stop in his future. But the two drivers center of your screen right now have the tire advantage in theory. John Buwalda getting out of the way. Use the outside lane there. Christina Ryan's fallen a second off of Watchorn. Those front tires beginning to feel it being out on those tires since lap 32. We're already on lap 50. We are approaching the halfway point at the end of this lap. Phenomenal stuff so far. Brennan Gregg has gotten around Brady Weileman for that 5th spot. Harley Barletta in that 81 trying to make his way forward. He'll get around Alex Martin, who is a lap down and trying to stay out of the way. But Barletta trying to get around Weileman as well. A little further behind, Kyle Smith and Callie Bajan, 8th and 9th. Kyle Smith in the 55 and Callie Bajan in the 36. As we take a look around, we tour around the field. Bajan in 9th place, a good run for her so far. She's needed it after the first 4 races of the season for JW Motorsports. Finding her home with Agent Inc. Thomas Lane, back where he started, 10th place for the number 28 machine for Team IEL. Doing a phenomenal job in that number 28. Keeping it calm and steady, that's what he needs to do. And he's in an island right now, which is important. He can focus on his own stuff, focus on tire saving. Maximize the opportunity there to get a top 10 out of it. John Ledger in the 25 sits 11th. Had issues early on in this race, but will make it happen. Christina Ryan has had some sort of issue dealing with lap traffic. That's Josh Jernigan. It slowed her down a little bit. 1.6 seconds now the gap. She is falling down quickly. Looks like it could have been largely a timing error here. But she is losing time rapidly getting through lap traffic. Josh Jernigan in the 40, who she's trying to get around right now, losing a second in the past 2 laps. You can see she's fallen to the clutches of Chris Howell and Caitlin Height, who are just in frame here. Chris Howell trying to hold on to that 3rd spot as they chase down Christina Ryan. A little bit further on down the field as we were looking throughout the field here. Mariska Million in 11th place as Weileman's made his pit stop. Dale Rapp in the 12th spot ahead of John Holiday. These two just beginning the battle for that 12th spot. Holiday in the 38, Rapid in 52. Elias Flores, just one spot off where he started 13th, sitting 14th at the moment for that number 42 machine. Then James Thompson on his own in that 61 machine up to 15th position. That's where he started this race. Brad Slagle in 16th, sitting 6 spots above where he started. Same with Jack Stanley, who is about to go a lap down here to 2nd, 3rd, and 4th on the track. This is the battle for the 2nd spot. 3 cars in this battle. Christina Ryan in the Great Clips car trying to hold on to that 2nd spot. Chris Howell in the 88. Christina Ryan in the 199. And Caitlin Height in the 90. Chris Howell moves up to 2nd place ahead of Caitlin Height. You watch that battle take place. Christina Ryan looking like a pit stop may be coming here in about the next, I want to say almost about the next 7-8 laps. She pit on lap 32, which means reasonably you can kind of predict that she might be pitting around lap 64. Chris Howell and Caitlin Height, they pit on lap 37, so they'll be able to go a few laps longer than that. Chris Howell and Caitlin Height again fighting for it here. They're slowly gaining on watch when it stabilized and leveled out at about 3.3 seconds. But they were almost 4.5 seconds back when this first round of pit stops came through. We'll have to see here how the second round of pit stops will take place. We're going to have at least one more round of pit stops here. Really, your objective is to try to get to about lap 65. 65, 66 is where you want to be. So Christina Ryan, if she can, she's going to need to stretch those tires out just a little bit longer to avoid an extra stop. If you're making 37, 38 laps per fuel window, you're fine. You got one more pit stop coming and that's it. Because theoretically, Chris Howell and Caitlin Height, they don't have to pit until about lap 74. Again, the gap staying stable at 3.2, 3.3 seconds. Tire saving to the max, and be ready if a late caution does occur. We've had one caution. It was on lap 1 for a starting accident involving Caitlin Height and John Bualta Jr. Obviously, Caitlin Height's recovered. She's battling for that the second spot right now, sitting in 3rd. John Bualta Jr. sitting right now, if we look a little bit further down here, John Bualta Jr. sitting in the 21st position, one lap down, but not in a terrible spot. Again, you see the track map on the right-hand side of your screen, kind of showing you where all the clusters of cars are at. 24 cars still circulating. Connor Morris dropped out of this race after only 33 laps. Lap traffic will begin to be more frequent the longer that this race goes green. Lap traffic, a little ebb and flow here. There you see the 51 of Brady Weilman. Brady Weilman pit earlier on. He may be in a world of trouble. He's battling with the 052 of Brad Slagle as they almost go 4 wide. Weilman slid through that like butter. Again, Weilman trying to get back through the field here. Would like to not be pinned to lap down in case something does go wrong, because we have seen lap cars come to the leaders in bunches. And it's hard to predict how those bunches will fall. At the front of the field, all on his lonesome, Merrick Watchorn leads the way. He laps pit on lap 35. He can easily make it to lap 70, which is a comfortable window to be in. That's what he wants to do. He wants to make it to lap 70 easily. Him, Chris Howell, Caitlin Height should be able to do so pretty affordably. He leads this field, 3.1 seconds between him and Chris Howell. Chris Howell, Caitlin Height trying to get through lap traffic. Flores tags the wall not once but twice. Battling with James Thompson. Chris Howell will try to move to the inside, trying to get around him. So will the 90 of Height. Question is right now for Christina Ryan, she's in a struggling spot. She stopped the bleeding as far as the time loss has been concerned. Not losing as much time as she was in the middle stanza. Now we're approaching the late stage of this second stint. The question is how close can she get to 70? Can she get to 68, 69? If it was 69, I think it would be pushing it. But if she can get to about that marker and kind of just give her an extra lap to run, may be in a decent spot here. Her objective is at the very minimum make it to 68. If she made 68, she'll be safe. But she gotta be able to make it there. Cena trying to get through this battle between Slagle and Flores. John Ledger, the first one to blink. He's 11th place, so he's not a factor to these top 10 at the moment. But he is the first one to blink. Merrick Watchorn will not blink for another 3 laps, as he'll get passed by Brady Weilman, who is very off sequence. He'll have another pit stop to make in this race. Weilman's race, effectively, without a caution right now, is down the tubes. He's got to hope for a miracle at this point in that number 51 machine, because he, again, still has a pit stop to make, and he will be found. He will find himself a lap down again in this race. Gomillion, the first of those in the top 10 to come in pit lane. So Gomillion, I believe. No, Gomillion did not. Gomillion did not come down pit lane. Seems like he almost did, but bowed out of it. Trouble somewhere on track here, and it looks like it is Alec Daffin and Brad Slagle. Alec Daffin and Brad Slagle had an issue, and Alec Daffin's race has gone from bad to worse. We'll visit it here in a moment. Mark Watchorn stays out. Christopher Howell stays out. Caitlin Height stays out. Brendan Gregg has stayed out. Thomas Lane has come in pit lane. Chris Howell will come in this lap. And so will Christina Ryan. So Caitlin Height, Tire Whisperer, Phenom, points leader in the HTL Cup Series on Monday nights. Trying to chase down someone who's going to beat her teammate on Monday nights, with Merrick Watchorn leading this race. Merrick Watchorn signing up to join Arrowhead Racing in the 96 for the rest of the season over on Monday nights. So these two that are currently top two in the Golden Gate 200 here in Fontana will be working together at Atlanta next Monday. Watchorn comes in. So will Caitlin Height. Does not leave it up to chance. Brendan Gregg, when does he come in for a Sim Racing team? Brendan Gregg will stay out here. So Brendan Gregg will inherit the race lead, albeit temporarily. He'll get around here. Brady Wildman entering turn 3 now. As most of the field will go through what it calls its final pit stops of the race. Wildman, for a moment, will jump up to second place. Wildman pit on lap 51. So he's definitely got another pit stop coming within the next... You'd have to hazard next 15 laps. His objective is to stay out as long as possible and hope that a caution comes out and bails him out. Wildman may have actually just phased out here. Oh, Wildman did have a massive issue. He had a massive latency issue. Immediately dropped behind Watchorn. And now in a threat from Howell. Severe latency issue there for the 51. We don't see that very often at all. We see blinking, we see the back and forth, like occasionally if you have packet loss or if you're dealing with upload packet loss. We don't see drivers completely freeze in position like that very often. Great job by everybody, including Wildman, because that can be a daunting thing to deal with. Especially being passed by lead lap cars just now coming out of pit lane. Easy for that to get out of control quickly. Thankfully it didn't, but Wildman's advantage immediately erased. So Merrick Watchorn re-inherits the lead of this race, but it's a closer gap than it was. Chris Howell, with that one lap undercut, shaved it from 3.1 seconds to 1.2 seconds. That is phenomenal. That means that we may have a race on our hands here in these last 28 laps. 61 of James Thompson is off the lead lap. First car a lap down, actually, in the 61 machine. Kyle Dersham comes down pit lane. He will go a lap down. Caitlin Height in third place. Christina Ryan down in fourth place. Also gained a little bit of time on that undercut. Christina Ryan, just kind of vibing. It's been a wild week, been a wild couple weeks for Christina Ryan. The track that she absolutely adores. Right now, she's sitting fourth there. Weileman down in fifth spot. And thankfully for Weileman, there's a lot of lap traffic here. But as far as actual position battles, he can kind of sit and wait. Because Jack Stanley, who also has not pit yet, I have to believe Jack Stanley would be coming down here in the next couple laps. Jack Stanley is almost 11 seconds behind Weileman. And he's staying out. Jack Stanley made it to lap 39, so theoretically Stanley could make it to about almost lap 80. So Jack Stanley at a peaking position at the moment, sitting in that 6th spot. Brennan Gregg, after pit stop, sits 7th at the moment. Barletta in 8th, Bajan in 9th, and Kyle Smith rounds out the top 10. Battles going on here. Barletta getting around the 895 of Jack Stanley, older tires there for the 95. He'll drop pretty quickly once he goes to the clutches of Bajan and Smith. But noble effort nonetheless, trying to hold out for a little bit of hope. Another battle here. This is between Dale Rapp and John Holiday. This is last battle on the lead lap. 15th and 16th place is what we're looking at here. They are just ahead of the race leader, of Merrick Watchorn. Actually, no, they're right behind the Merrick Watchorn. They have just been lapped. There's Watchorn, who has put the 44, has put his teammate a lap down. Oh, trouble! Trouble! Chris Howell into the inside wall hard. Off the nose of what I believe was Kalen Height. And his race, on a dime with 25 laps to go, has come to almost a near anticlimactic end in the number 88 machine as they came out of turn 2. We'll double check here. We know they were battling for that second spot. And he does tag the wall, and Kalen Height, nowhere for her to go, just kind of finishes them off. Just drifted a little bit too tight there, tagged the wall when he bounced out. Just rolled right off the Supra's nose of Kalen Height. Again, nowhere for Kalen to go in that situation, in the slightest. Chris Howell in pit lane, taking those repairs. Merrick Watchorn in the race lead. We'll see if we can get a perspective from Kalen Height here in a moment. Kalen Height, second place right now for her. Hearing reports that Kalen Height might be a little bit wounded after that contact with Howell that sent Howell into the inside wall and into retirement. So it's Watchorn, Height, and Ryan front 3. Then Brady Wildman, who has a pit stop to make here in the next 7 laps at most. Then Brennan Gregg, Harley Barletta, Callie Bajan, Kyle Smith, Thomas Lane, and now John Ledger is in the top 10. And we'll see here if we can get a decent look at it at the front of Kalen Height's machine. You can see the fender damage on that right front for her. Not a pleasant look for the number 90 machine. So Kalen Height, at this point, kind of just having to ride and vibe with it. She's used her fast pair already in this race. Had to use it on lap 1. Chris Howell's gone from 2nd place to 16th and 1 lap down. Seen Ryan beginning to kind of reel back in. One of her closest friends in Kalen Height. Those two are about to battle for 2nd place here in a moment. Brady Wildman in 4th place again. He has a pit stop to make, and they're not close. That was contact, and I think that was the 40 of Josh Jernigan. No, it was not. I stand corrected. Thought it was. It is not the 40. It's not the car of Josh Jernigan. Instead, it is the that is the 93 of Kyle Dersham. Similar looking cars, but it's the 93 of Dersham, not the 40 of Jernigan. But he tagged the wall hard. And he's about to be under threat from, that is John Holiday trying to put him a lap down. Holiday in 12th place. As Dersham is severely struggling now. You see the damage on the number 93 machine, especially on that right side. Struggling with the handling on that Ford Mustang. Christina Ryan sitting third, trying to chase down Caitlin Height now for second. Height in a wounded number 90. Christina Ryan in a healthy 199. Both of them firmly on the podium as it currently sits without late race heroics. Merrick Watchorn leads the way. He's led the most laps of this race, looking for 4 in a row. No one has ever won 4 in a row in this series. Watchorn's about to become the first. With 18 laps left to play. Alec Davin's race has come to a premature end. He is in pit lane. He'll drop to 24th. Weileman just holding out hope. He's already lost more spots. Lost out to Brendan Gregg and Harley Barletta, who are battling for that 4th spot. Gregg in the 18, Barletta in the 81. Toyota versus Chevrolet. And then just a little bit behind that, you see Chris Howell. And where he's been left, he's left down in 15th position at the moment. Just a heartbreaking feeling for Chris Howell. Behind Brady Weileman is Callie Bajent, who's trying to make some inroads here. Had decent results in spite of bad luck these first 4 races. Finally, a quiet race for Bajent, and we're seeing what the Asian Racing driver can do in the number 36 machine. Went from the 41 to the 36, went from Ford to Chevrolet, from JW Motorsports to Asian Racing, and she's doing a phenomenal job trying to secure what will be 6th place for her. Her best finish so far in this series. Again, you see that she's a rookie in this series. Her best finish is, I believe, a 10th. I believe that came at Daytona. Kyle Smith in the 55. He'll sit in 8th at the moment, again, waiting for Weileman to make his pit stop. He's really the last shoe to drop in this top 10. Kyle Smith will move up to 7th when that happens. Smith pit on lap 69. He is safely in that window to make it to the end of the race. Caitlin Height still battling in 2nd place. Scoring issue there on the leaderboard. Still about a 2-second gap between Height and Ryan. They both have fallen down from Watchorn, who is cruising at this point in the race. Weileman makes his pit stop. So Weileman's come in. Christina Ryan sitting in 3rd place behind Caitlin Height. Brendan Gregg will inherit 4th place, well and fully away from Harley Barletta, but it's not, again, not over between those two. Barletta having a pretty good battle so far. with Brennan Gregg. Callie Bajent's up to 6th. Then you have Kyle Smith in 7th. Thomas Lane has moved up to the 8th spot. Again, great run for him so far for Team IAL. John Ledger in the 9th position, ahead of Mariska Million, who is a lap down. That's how much Merrick Watchorn has put on this field so far. He's chasing down John Ledger in the 25 to put him a lap down. With 12 laps to go, Merrick Watchorn has set sail. Another emphatic race win on its way. Again, don't count them before they hatch. A late caution can throw all this into the mix, and who knows what it looks like. But predicting how this race has gone, we've had a lot of single car issues that have sort of thinned the field out a little bit. Again, Alex Martin in pit lane, Alec Daffin on pit lane. Leaves us with about 22 cars running in this race. And again, it's Watchorn and Height at the front of the field. Future teammates in HTL competition on Monday nights. And then Christina Ryan. Christina Ryan, a woman with as many accolades as you can possibly count. Inside and outside of ABM, just absolutely top level driver. Very stacked top 3. John Bawada on fresher tires here, and the number 5 machine will get around the race leader. He get one of those laps back. Caitlin Height is ahead of Chris Van Maastricht. Van Maastricht is the 27, sitting 22nd, 3 laps down. Just trying to stay out of the way. Those two were part of the same opening lap issue. Van Maastricht tagged the 92 of Alex Martin. Alex Martin tagged Caitlin Height, and then Caitlin Height dropped back because of it and ended up being involved in the issue with John Bawada. So it was an interesting chain reaction, I should say. I saw Caitlin Height drop to the back of the field, only to come back up, gain 22 spots, and we're en route to right now sitting 2nd place with 9 laps to go. Christina Ryan, sitting in 3rd place, has reeled in Height down to a 2nd with 8 laps to go. It's been a chipping away process for the 2022 national champion. But Christina Ryan working on it here. Trying to gain some ground and trying to make this a battle for 2nd place. She's been chipping away at it for the last 20-odd laps. Battle for 4th. It's fallen into Harley Barletta's favor. Got ahead of Brennan Gregg here. Another top 5 finish potentially en route for Brennan Gregg. Had 2 runner-up finishes last year in 2022. Found his home with the Cint Racing team, doing a phenomenal job there. Callie Bajent sitting 6th place. This will be a career best day for her in this series. I had a Kyle Smith in that 55. His best finish came at Daytona earlier this year. Thomas Lane looking for a really good race. Been a very quiet race for him, but I don't think he's going to complain too often much about that, sitting 8th place with a full 7 seconds in hand. John Ledger in the 9th spot. Another Massachusetts native. And number 25 machine. And then Mauricio Million in the 10th spot, a lap down. 6 laps to go. Coming to 5 laps to go here. Caitlin Height leads over Christina Ryan. And then the battle for 4th is dissipated between Barletta and Brennan Gregg. Barletta's opened up a 1.3 second gap on Brennan Gregg here. So this battle between Height and Ryan is really the hottest battle going on right now. And then Ledger and Gomillion are off the lead lap, battling for 9th place. Coming to 4 laps to go. It's half a second gap between the two. They're 7 seconds behind the race leader, Merrick Watchorn. Coming to 3 laps to go. Again, the telemetry on your screen kind of says it all. Christina Ryan has pulled in within 0.3 of a second of Caitlin Height. Caitlin Height nursing a wounded car, but Caitlin Height working on it, trying to get and hold on to that second place. Christina Ryan trying to take it away. Stabilizing right now at 0.3 of a second. Closing now more and more down the back straightaway. These two battling for the second spot. Height went low, Ryan went high. Coming to 2 laps to go. 4 miles left in play here at Fontana. And here's the battle for second place. Christina Ryan moves to the inside lane. How hot are they going to battle? Brady Wildman, 51, not on the lead lap. He's pushing Caitlin Height. Wildman will go to the outside here on those fresher tires, and he will go by. But that help on the back straightaway gave Caitlin Height a little reprieve. Final lap, 1 lap to go. Merrick Watchman's already taken that final lap. They've just crossed the start finish line. Christina Ryan on the inside lane, Caitlin Height on the outside lane. Trying to hold on for this battle for second place. Still side by side. Wheeling it down the back straightaway for the last time, going into turn 3 and 4. While they battle, Merrick Watchorn makes a career win, number 19, and 4 in a row at Fontana. Christina Ryan gets clear and will lead Caitlin Height across the line to round out the podium. Best friends finishing 2nd and 3rd. Harley Barletta finishes 4th ahead of Brennan Gregg, who will come home in 5th. Callie Bajent comes home and finishes 6th. A great result for her and her new team for TWIGI iRacing. Kyle Smith finishes in 7th place ahead of Thomas Lane in 8th. Maurice Gomillion and John Ledger round out the top 10 here at Fontana. Phenomenal job. See, congratulations there by Christina Ryan and Watchorn's teammate and Maurice Gomillion in the 44. but it's race win number 19 on his career in the TWIGI iRacing series. Merrick Watchorn. Phenomenal job tonight. Career win number 19. To some of Watchorn's friends congratulating him on historic achievement here. Again, no one in the history of this series has won 4 races in a row. That's exactly what Merrick Watchorn just did tonight. Atlanta, Phoenix, Iowa, and now add Fontana to that list of race wins in 2023. And he's going to back it up to victory lane here. While he backs up to victory lane, we're going to interview the drivers that finished 3rd and 2nd here. We'll talk to Caitlin Height 3rd. We'll talk to her first, I should say. She finished 3rd tonight. So let's get sort of some insight on her and how that. Wow, English is failing me big time now. We'll talk to her about how her race ended up here and how much that damage affected her. Caitlin, this is Carmen from the ABM booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got ya.
Obviously, we saw that battle between you and Christina at the end of the race there. We also saw the damage from the contact with Chris Hal after he bounced off the wall. Obviously, a very clean race. It was hectic for you all the way around, but kind of just walk us through recovering from that opening lap incident. Obviously, you had a lot of time to do so, and then kind of just walk through, I guess, how that damage affected you at the end there.
Well, the opening lap was just crazy from just before the green flag fell, and then I don't know. I have to look and see what happened on the backstretch. All I know is that I ended up spinning around after contact. So, yeah. So the recovery was great. I just lost a bit of time to Merrick on the first round of pit stops just from pitting a little bit later and having a lap car sort of hold us up there. The damage between me and the 88 just absolutely killed the car because right before the second round of pit stops, I gained nearly like half a second on Merrick once I got clean air. And then coming out of the pits, I gained another second on him from like the end to the out lap. So I think I might have been able to have something for him like at the very end there, but the damage killed the car. I was down 2 to 3 tenths each lap to Merrick, and honestly, it's like the most disappointed I've been with the 3rd place ever.
Obviously, the battle there with Christina was a lot of fun watching that battle take place. You know, we saw the damage on that right front. Obviously, Fontana kind of lends itself to this sort of racing, being able to save tires and everything. Just jumping in, obviously, we saw you at Atlanta, and then we didn't see you at Phoenix or Iowa. Just kind of jumping in for these races, how refreshing is it being able to come in and just being able to go through and just race? Obviously, you came from the back of the field twice because you had to go through, you had to go through lap cars. You really didn't have a chance to even start the race without an issue. Being able to just race it out, how refreshing is it being able to sort of just go through and let your car do the work?
Well, I just love going out to the tracks that I know are really great for racing and just that play into my style of driving. So it's just like one of those things where I get to pick and choose what I want to race when I want to race it. And I mean, I don't like the cars because obviously you've seen just what the little bit of damage and this damage model does to it. But I'm just glad that, this being one of my favorite tracks and just being able to really race it out for 90 some straight green flag laps is always a good time. Yeah. But like I said before, I just wish it could have been a little bit different. Yeah.
Well, we'll let you go and kind of unlax and rewind here again. Third place finish, nothing to scoff at. You were the biggest gainer in the race, up 21 spots in this race, and you made almost double the amount of passes, including the lap traffic here this evening. Before I let you go, obviously we get to see you on Monday nights as well for HTL. But before I let you go, does anyone want to shout out and say thank you to? Caitlin, the floor is yours. Congratulations on a phenomenal drive, P3 tonight.
Yeah, I just thanks for the league organizers and yourself for broadcasting, and just big shout out to Christina and Callie for their great runs tonight, and congrats to Merrick on his fourth straight here. I wish I could have had something at the very end for him, but just you saw what the damage did.
Again, Caitlin, nothing to shake your head at. Third place tonight, phenomenal drive. Obviously, we'll see you on Monday night. But until then, obviously, have a good night and have a good weekend, and we'll see you at Atlanta on Monday.
All right, thanks.
That was Caitlin Height, third place finisher here tonight at Fontana for the TWIGI iRacing series. Next up, we'll talk to the second place finisher, the woman of many accolades that I almost always have to list off whenever we're sharing the broadcast booth together. This time, she's a driver. And most importantly, she is a second place finisher here tonight in Fontana. Christina, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy.
What's up, baby?
Obviously, that was a fun race. Opening lap caution, and then green flag the rest of the way. Kind of how we like seeing it. And it gave you a chance to battle forward here and just let everything take its place. First of all, obviously, you love this track. We saw it on social media earlier this afternoon. Obviously, it's been a whirlwind couple weeks for you. Just kind of walk through how you handled this race and that confidence that you've been carrying these past couple weeks since Screen to Speed in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I love this place. It means a lot to me. It's been one of my favorite tracks ever. Doesn't matter what car we're doing, doesn't matter what configuration. I remember ripping Super GT cars around the infield and having a blast with that. So anytime we come here, it's exciting. I love this car. I have a lot of experience here from when we did eNASCAR. It was with these cars here, so that came in handy. I knew tires are going to be super important. They always are. I knew we had to make some moves early on because things started to spread out. Didn't think I quite had enough pace I had more pace than I had at Atlanta for Merrick, but I didn't want to do copycat strat, so I just decided to do something big, take a big gamble and see what happened, and it worked out for a little bit, led some laps, got some good TV time, put some pride on Pastrana's number again, and lost some pace, but had enough saved up that even though we were losing time in the middle, we equalized out, and from there just kind of stayed out of trouble and made it work.
Obviously, these last couple of days have been wild. Obviously, you won your first World Championship race on Wednesday night at Monza, and we saw the reaction there. Obviously, coming tonight, a track that you absolutely enjoy, racing against one of your closest friends in Caitlin Height there at the end. Kind of just walk through that process of chasing her down, because obviously she had a little bit of damage there after contact with the 88. But kind of just walk through the process of chasing her down and trying to make a pass on older tires here. For those that are watching that may not understand how much more difficult that gets, kind of just walk through how that process was, because it took several laps once you got to her to actually make the pass.
I learned a little bit today. I'm always learning, always something to take away from these races, and I wasn't pushing too hard because I didn't want to make things worse for her. I knew she was not in the best circumstances because of what happened, and the last thing I wanted to do was go send it off in there and wreck us both. We had a really good opportunity. There wasn't much pressure behind, so I just took my time with it, and if I got there, I got there, and if I didn't, I didn't. And I think because of that, I had backed the car up so much that I think 9 out of 10 times I would have got excited and tried to go for some big what energy moves, and I think it always seems to cost me, and I burn up my stuff. But granted, she was wounded, but we had some lap cars here and there. We were in some goofball angles for the last couple laps, and my tires were definitely a bit more worn. It allowed me to kind of not overheat the tire and just kind of trust it a little bit, and it kind of worked out. But it was fun. I love racing with her. Like you said, she's one of my besties, so getting to race with your sister is always a fun thing. So glad we're both on the podium, and congrats to Merrick too. He kicked butt. He had us all. So
Absolutely. Obviously, a whirlwind couple weeks here, and obviously we get to share the booth on Monday night at Atlanta. We get to watch Caitlin and Merrick be teammates on Monday evening, so that's going to be interesting. Obviously, a lot of fun. Obviously, we'll see on Wednesday as well for Hyper Formula at Suzuka. But before I let you go and kind of let you rewind and relax after a quick but intense 100-lap race here at Fontana, if there's anyone who want to shout out and say thank you to Christina again, the floor is yours. Congrats on an amazing second place finish. Phenomenal drive, up 9 spots this evening.
yeah, I'm super stoked. I know I don't sound it, but I'm just kind of chill. It was just a really, really good race. Again, it seems like I've only been here in here for a couple, but the 2 that I've popped in for so far, the racing's been fantastic. So big shout out to everybody for putting that together. I mean, the racing up front is really clean, really good. Shout out to Kate. She did a great job. And shout out to Callie, too. She busted her butt and got a really, really good finish. So I'm proud of the girls, proud of everybody back at Priz. And yeah, anybody who tuned in to watch, as always, I see a couple names in here. I see Taylor and Slowbird and Mako. So thanks for popping in, everybody. I hope it was as entertaining as it was outside as it was inside, because I had a blast. So big thanks to everybody putting together. Thanks for streaming. And yeah, nothing else to say. Just really happy. Really solid day today.
Well, enjoy the second place finish tonight, Christina. Again, congratulations. Phenomenal drive. And I'll see you again on Monday at Atlanta.
Yeah. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Absolutely. Happy St. Patrick's Day. That was Christina Ryan, our second place finisher here tonight. Finished ahead of Caitlin Height. Phenomenal battle for both of them coming to the finish line to end this race. But now it's time for the driver, the man of the hour, for the 4th time in a row, and for the 19th time in his career in this series. Merrick Watchorn, race winner here at Fontana. Merrick, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
Got a 10-4 there.
What a performance tonight. This has been probably one of the best starts of a season we've ever seen. You win the Clash. You're like, okay, everyone's on notice. All right, cool. Daytona happens. Daytona, you can kind of say, okay, it's Daytona. Atlanta, win. Phoenix, win. Iowa, win. And now Fontana, a victory here. 4 in a row. Correct me if I'm wrong. My analytics machine says that's the first time this has happened.
Yes, it is. This is the history-making moment right there. 4 in a row. I'm ecstatic. The only thing I'm kind of worried about is when I run out of steam. You know, that's my big thing, and I'm waiting to find out. You know, sooner or later the other shoes are going to drop. But if I just keep coming out practicing and making sure I get the time I need on track and understand what the car is going to do, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do my best.
Well, obviously it shows here. Obviously, we'll talk about Sonoma next Friday coming up. But it was lights out, blistering competition. Obviously, the first half of the race, a lot of pressure. Going through the first couple pit stop cycles, we saw the battle with the 48 of Daffin, with Howell, with Height, with Ryan. All 5 of you were in that cluster for the start of the race. And then, as we saw in Atlanta, you began distancing yourself apart, began that tire saving strategy. And I keep asking this question because at this point, it just never ceases to amaze me. The tire saving, obviously you talk about the practice you put in. I've seen the amount of time you put in practicing. How much do you learn every week going through all that effort? Because it's working, obviously. But how much are you learning? Like, how much nuance is there to saving tires at tracks like Fontana, like at Atlanta, that makes that incredible difference?
So the big thing that I take from everything is I find where I need to be strong at, right? So for me, when it comes to tire saving, my best bet is just go out there and push the car as hard as I possibly can, and then figure out where I need to be paced at, and then just go about it. Really and honestly, like, it's just the cream and butter of stock car racing. You just gotta go out there and just put laps in, get understanding what the car is going to do and how the car is going to feel, and so putting in all those laps and all that time, I mean, you get the you get the fruit of your labor at the end of the day. So I mean, I come out here and I learn. I watch other drivers' lines. At first, I was just going to rip the top, and then I saw how much faster late in the run that both Alec and Chris were, and I just said, all right, maybe there's no rubber up top because it's not night, so let me change up my line, and I changed my line, and that's all it took. So knowing when to experiment, when to try things out, especially during race time. You can't run the same line every lap. You have to experiment, find out where other drivers are faster, what's working for them, and try to apply it to yourself, really and honestly. So moving forward, I just gotta remember that and just keep my head down, keep out of trouble, and just keep trying to get wins. I don't think I'm gonna do any well at Sonoma. Road coursing is not my forte. So, I mean, I'm hoping for at least a top 10 at the end of the day. If I get, a better position and get a top 5, I'll be happy coming out of there.
Obviously, I mean, you look at how the start of the season's gone. We're 5 races in, and you've got 4 wins out of that 5. Obviously, you look at Sonoma next week, first road course on the calendar. Then we go to Richmond, another short oval similar to Iowa, and how that'll play out. And then Las Vegas. So you see a lot more tracks that require a little bit of tire saving, require a little bit of that patience and that mindset. You said this last week, more motivated than ever to get that championship this year after missing out so close last year. How important is momentum going through this season? Obviously, no chase, no playoff format. It's just earn the points. How important is that momentum to keep up and score those points? Because no one can outscore you when you're winning all these races. How important is that momentum, and how sensitive is that momentum with tracks like Sonoma coming up that, as you said, aren't in your strong suit?
It's just being consistent, putting in extra work, extra time, trying to figure out what works for me, realizing where I need to give up time, give up position, knowing when someone's going to be fast for me to just, salvage the car and salvage my race. Yeah, I want to win. Yeah, I want to go up there. But at the end of the day, if I don't have the car, I don't have the car. And instead of ruining another driver's race and my race and putting myself in a very worse disadvantage, then having the points bubble I have right now. I mean, I'm really protecting my points lead right now. So if I get a top 10 or even a top 15, I'm not going to cry about it, because I got a good buffer between me and the rest of the pack. So I just got to keep my head down, stay out of trouble, like I said earlier, and just figure out what works for me, how I need to figure out the brake bias, what offset I need to run, and what type of steering ratio would work best for my driving style. That's really what it comes down to, is just experimenting, trying to figure out what works for you, and going out there and just, putting hurt on. So we'll see what happens at Sonoma. I don't think I'm going to be up front. You're not going to be more or less talking about me. So hopefully I can, we can keep some new faces coming up to the front to get some wins.
Well, obviously Sonoma's a week away, but tonight it is race win number 4 in a row, career win number 19 in the series. Before I let you go and let you fully go on and celebrate and enjoy it this weekend, if there's anyone who want to shout out and say thank you to, Merrick, again, the floor is yours. Congratulations. Again, 4 in a row and career win number 19 in the TWIGI iRacing series.
Thank you. I just want to thank you all from ABN for, really picking us up and trying to show us off every weekend and week out. We try to bring you guys the driver count and try to bring you guys the excitement week in and week out. I'm glad that we went green tonight. I mean, that was a fantastic job. I want to, just thank all the guys from TWIGI. I mean, fantastic race across the board, gents and ladies. And, let's keep it up for the rest of the season. We got a long season ahead of us, so let's keep our noses clean and keep coming back and enjoying what we do, racing every Friday night. And I just want to thank TWIGI, QSA, and Capture the Occasion. 2 of them are my, are corporations, and then the other one's just a buddy of mine who does wedding photos. So, just shout out to him. And let's just keep the momentum up, keep our nose clean, and see if we can get a couple more wins throughout the season.
Well, Merrick, again, it's always fun being able to see you on the podium, and it's been on the top of the podium these last 4 weeks in a row. Again, enjoy it this weekend. Obviously, we'll see you next Friday at Sonoma. We'll see you on Monday in HTL Cup Series competition at Atlanta. But Merrick, enjoy it, and we'll see you on Monday.
Thank you, Carmen.
That was Merrick Watchorn, our race winner here tonight. You want to see what the race looks like? Here's the full-on results. Merrick Watchorn with the race win, and Christina Ryan, second place finish, first podium in the TWIGI iRacing Series. Caitlin Height finishing third ahead of Harley Barletta and Brennan Gregg, who rounded out with the top 5. Callie Bajent finishing in 6th. Career best finish for her in this series and her new team for Age and Ink Racing. Kyle Smith in 7th. Thomas Lane Jr. coming home with the career best finish of 8th place. Maurice Gamillion finished 9th ahead of John Ledger, rounding out the top 10. Gamillion and Ledger were lapped down, as were Brady Weileman in 11th place, almost into the top 10 after being off pit cycle for most of the race. Chris Howell in 12th, John Holliday in 13th. Dale Rapp finished in 14th ahead of James Thompson, Elias Flores, Brad Slagle, and Jack Stanley. Looking a little bit further down the order here, we'll page on through here. 26 cars were involved in tonight's event. Josh Jernigan finished 19th, was the first car 2 laps down. 2 laps down as well for Kyle Dersham, who had contact with the wall and had damage. John Bowata Jr. finishing in 21st place, the last car 2 laps down. And Chris Van Maastricht, the last driver to take the finish here tonight, 22nd for him. Alex Martin retired 18 laps from the finish. Alec Daffin retired 31 laps from the finish after suffering a speeding penalty and then suffering an accident involved with the 052 of Brad Slagle. Connor Morris was the first driver officially to retire from this race in 25th, and Luke Knupp did not take the start. But that's going to do it from us here tonight from Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California. We're off tomorrow night. No Truck Series action for the ARC Saturday Night Showdown. Sunday, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's the ARC's Dark Side Mustangs A² Cup Series season. All that begins 7 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. And then Monday evening, HDL Cup Series action. It'll be myself and Christina Ryan in the booth as we head to Atlanta for some intermediate Super Speedway action. But that's what's coming up over the next 3 days. On behalf of everyone here for the TWIGI iRacing Series, on behalf of everyone here on ABN, I'm Carmen Hardy. Until next time, if we don't see you tomorrow night, if we don't see you on Sunday, enjoy your weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, have some fun. We'll see you on Sunday.